am live. Lord Pharaoh Jeremiah is live. One sec. Oh, sorry guys, I'm having a problem with my bloody YouTube on my phone. I don't know why, but every time I try and start a live stream or upload a video, it keeps just spazzing out on me, and I end up doing something that I don't want to do. I'm not going to show anything on the screen right now because I'm out and about, and I don't want people to know where I am. Because I suspect, you know that horrible woman that barged past me in the shop, who was clearly trying to get a rise out of me? Now, I don't normally see her when I go out around like these times. So I suspect that she is one of them that's like watching my YouTube channel, and she must have got a notification that I was going live, and because I showed where I am, that's why she quickly, you know, hurried and got herself ready to go out, because she saw exactly where I am, and she went to the shop where I think I showed the shop on my live stream. I know I showed the general area of where I was, so she must have known where I was, and that's why she must have hurried herself along to get out so she could meet me as I was going in the shop. Oh, you've gone. Okay, bye. So yeah, so I think she's one of them from around here who has my stream, my channel. She has my channel, and you know, because you know at that shop, the mobility shop, they somehow found my channel. I have no idea how they found my channel, but they had my channel. I never gave it to them. Just like that woman at Morrison's, I never gave her my channel, and yet she somehow had my channel. So I think somebody has found my channel somehow. Or maybe I have entrusted someone with my channel around here years and years and years ago, and they've just spread it about, and then it's ended up in the wrong hands, my enemy's hands. So that's what I suspect anyway. It may or may not be true. So yeah, so that's why I don't want to show the screen, just in case that's true, because I don't want her to know where I am at any given time. So obviously if I'm somewhere else, then that's fine. Like, you know, if I'm somewhere a bit different, like further away from my general area, then that's fine, because she doesn't seem to go anywhere apart from the local shops. So these seems to be at the local shops, which is good. I'm glad about that. Hate to run into her anywhere else, because yeah, I don't really like to run into negative people who judge me and dislike me for God knows what reason. And oh, hi Dean, by the way. I have no idea if she's still here. It says I've got a view, but God knows if I actually have one, because like I say, it never is like an accurate thing. And yeah, when whenever I upload a video or go live and I try and title it, it keeps spazzing out and going out of the text bit, and it keeps making me press I end up pressing buttons. Like on this stream, when I was trying to title it, it went out of the text typey area, and I accidentally clicked on the live stream screen mode, screencast I think it's called, and I don't want to do that. Hi Anthony, nice to see you. How are you guys, by the way? It's great, I've got views already. I hope Issa and everyone else makes it too. I have some important things to talk about today. One of them is about, like, my psychology and mentality, specifically about, like, how ever since I was quite a young child, and I told you guys before that I was never the rebellious type, so if anybody was, like, critical of me, or, was annoyed at me in any way, like adults, how when you do something wrong, obviously adults will, like, tell you off or whatever. I used to be dead sensitive to that, so, if I did anything wrong, I would feel bad, because, not bad, like, whatever bad. I don't know, it's hard to explain. Not like, oh shit, I've upset someone, I feel bad that I upset them. Not that kind of bad, but feel bad, like, I don't know, like an ego thing or a self-esteem bad. Like, it would knock my confidence, you might say. And I would feel, like, stupid, and I would feel self-conscious, and so I kind of ended up being subdued because of that. Like, that's why I ended up being shy. Because if I was out and about, say, for instance, and I was a bit loud, people used to shut me up. Like, they used to tell me off for being too loud. So I guess I learnt to be quieter. I didn't even realise I was being loud. So because my normal voice was just loud to everyone else, I ended up, like, virtually whispering, or just not talking at all. I ended up being quite shy and reserved. And then when I was a teenager, I became introverted. God, that was weird. Something, I don't know, I felt like a bump on the thing that I'm sitting on. I'm so sorry, but I'm really bunged up. It's really hard to talk right now. I'm so bunged up. So yeah, so I did. It's because I don't know, it ended up being, like, it not being the real me anymore. Like, the real me just seemed to disappear because of all the, like, being either told off for things as a kid, and then I went sort of like being a kid and being told off for things, to, like, being bullied by the local kids and being told I was weird and strange and this and that and the other. So I was like, oh, obviously the way I am and the way I think and the way I act and do things is bad in some way. It's wrong. It's not socially acceptable. So for a while, I kind of was quiet and I hid the real me from, like, a lot of people. Sorry, I was trying to blow my nose because I'm really bunged up and it's just really annoying and it's uncomfortable. So yeah, I hid the real me from people, and I was, like I say, reserved. I became very introverted because I believed that everything I did, the way I dressed, the way I acted, the way I talked, the way I thought, I came to believe that it was bad and wrong and not socially acceptable, socially unacceptable. So yeah, I feel like I lost the real me along the way with, people acting like everything I did and act and dress like was bad and wrong. So I had to have some kind of outlet. And when I discovered the internet, I felt like I could be the real me on the internet. So I kind of went a bit mad on the internet when I talked to people. And then, of course, I started making videos. And in the beginning, of course, I got hate on there as well. And it's really quite sad because I finally found an audience that did accept the real me. Like the more confident, outgoing me that just spoke my mind and dressed however I wanted to. And yeah, and that was my other channel as well, like my other channel. But I've noticed I get a lot of hate on my other channel now, which is weird because for the first, like, I can't remember how long I've had that channel for, but it's quite a number of years now. It must be about 3 or 4 years, maybe longer, that I've had that channel for. And all the comments I got on that were positive. But now I found that, I found that's stopped now, and I just get a load of hate on there, which is a shame because I found my audience like straight away, and it's been going for years. I got nothing but nice comments and encouraging comments, so I thought, oh great, what I'm putting out is to people's liking, and so I continued to put out those kind of videos, similar videos. But now I've noticed I get only mocking comments. And all the people that were commenting on my channel before, the nice ones, just seem to have disappeared. I find this really odd. And then when I look at other channels, other people's channels, and I see, like, in this particular YouTuber that I've started watching, which is basically an anorexic chick who's she does videos of herself eating to sort of say, hey, look at me, I'm recovering, I'm eating, it's hard for me, but I'm doing it, and I want you guys to help me and support me. But I've noticed all the comments that she gets are pretty similar. Like on a few of her videos, I've seen very similar comments. And they feel like it's nothing to do with what she's doing. It's like things like, never give up, reach your goals. I don't know, just really generic things that you'd say to encourage someone. And I thought, this reminds me of just generated comments, like, they're just bots, like AI generated comments. And I thought, you know what? So my comments are the same. All the negative comments that I get are all really weird. Like, it doesn't seem like anything an actual human being would put. So I'm just wondering if someone's fucking with me and it's just like AI things that give me my comments. And that happens on quite a lot of people's channels, it must be. Because don't you find it kind of suspicious that 1 minute I get only nice comments, and then suddenly I have an influx of nasty comments, and all the nice comment people have just disappeared. So yeah, I'm quite suspicious. And also, yeah, I've also noticed like a big influx of AI lately. It's in adverts. People are just talking about it. There's all these products and services that are all AI now. Suddenly, I'm bombarded with AI generated images on social media, and people just, sharing them, in group chats and stuff. And I remember not that long ago, people talking about how, like, sinister and evil and bad AI was, because it could become, like, virtually sentient at some point and want to take over, like, the world and take over from humans. But now suddenly everybody's, like, all for it. Even though it's clearly trying to fool people into thinking it's real. Like, I got a phone call a few months ago, and it was clearly an AI voice. It was very obviously. Like, there was sometimes it sounded natural, but there was a lot of times where it sounded tinny and it broke up, or the person would repeat themselves. But, like, verbatim. Like, normally when because I know human beings repeat themselves, I know real people repeat themselves, but it's different both times. Both times they repeat themselves. It sounds different. Like, I know real people repeat themselves. Oh, I know real people, it kind of, you it might go up an octave or down an octave, or there might be more pauses or something. But this was like exactly the same, and it was like this, you know, and it would break up, and it would be all like glitchy sometimes. I will admit it was a very convincing human voice, but because of the glitches, I could tell it was AI. And I said, "You're an AI," and it said, "No, I'm not. I'm just new to the job. I'm just all these excuses." And you could even like, it sounded like the bloody AI, you know, was like, "Oh shit, I've been caught out." You know, it's like, "Oh no, I'm not a bot. I'm just new to." It's like you could hear the panic in whoever was, you know, operating the AI voice. You know, you could hear the panic, even if they were typing into a keyboard and it was reading it off. It was like, "Oh shit, we've been caught out," you know. I find that bad though. I find it bad that an AI is trying to fool us into thinking it's real person though. It was very obviously not a real person. I mean, it might have been a real person operating it, but you know, the actual voice itself was not human. And yeah, it's that I have a problem with. Like, the AI thing, it can be useful, but when they're actually, whoever is operating these things are trying to fool us into thinking that it's real, that is when it gets scary. And I know nobody agrees with me on this, and I know that the reason why is because everyone's afraid that if we're not seen to be like kowtowing to this AI, then it might be like, right, humans are a threat, they need to go, you know, when they take over. Because I've heard that that's a thing as well. I've heard that, you know, people have said that, oh, we daren't speak against it because then it, you know, it will perceive us as a threat and it'll want us gone, you know. So we have to be on its side and we have to be all for it and all that stuff. I understand that, you know, I get it, but, you know, I'm honest. And by the time AI takes over, I will be probably long dead. So, you know, I don't really give a shit, to be honest. And even if that's the case, then, you know, oh well. I'm not saying that I'm against it anyway. You know, I've said this before many times. I'm not against it as such. These are just observations I'm making that 1 minute, like only a few years ago, people were talking about how AI was dangerous, potentially dangerous, and they were not, you know, they were against it. They were not for it at all. They, you know, they've watched all the movies where it's, you know, taken over and become evil, and it's been like a war between, you know, between humans and AI, android, roboty things and what have you, because they've become so intelligent that they think, oh, you know, we can do things for ourselves, we don't need humans, you know, and they perceive humans as a threat for some reason. And we all thought that was just sci-fi and it was just fantasy, it wasn't real, you know. But then when it started to become real, you know, when people were actually inventing robots and AI things and what have you, people were, you know, became a bit concerned, you might say. Not scared, but concerned. And there was all this uproar. I heard lots of people talking about it. This was only a few years ago. I was hearing lots of people talk about how it was scary. But now suddenly this year, I don't even think it was last year, it's just been this year, 2023. Suddenly there's this influx of AI products and stuff, and everybody's suddenly all for it. I've not heard anybody say, oh shit, this is scary. Oh, I don't like this. You know, they're already taking over human jobs. Like, you know, all this AI art is pretty much, you know, people can just do the AI generated art. Oh, goodbye, viewer. See, we've lost someone. This AI generated art, and now basically they don't have to commission anybody because they can just get AI generated art. So that's actual human artists out of a job. So I see more AI generated art being posted now than actual art from humans, and to be honest with you, that irks me. Not gonna lie. I can't say I'm impressed because it's a machine that has done it. It's not a human. If a human comes up with something that good, then it's like, yeah, that's impressive. Human skill. But an AI has pretty much been programmed to do that, so... And it has just probably taken from similar images and just sort of projected it into a new image. People said that that's quite clever and stuff. And although it is, but we all know that technology is very clever anyway. So it's not impressive because, you know, machines are usually perfect, except when they malfunction. But in this case, I'm not sure it can malfunction. So it's kind of, like I say, it's just a bit, like, I don't find it impressive, the art anyway, because I think if an organic being has produced that, then yes. But an actual machine producing it, no. Because I'll tell you what, like I've said before, they have just looked at photographs, if you will. However they do that. Like, they have obviously... I don't know how they do it exactly, but the robot itself within the computer has obviously seen images of similar things that you're sort of searching for, and then it's just taken that and then just generated it from that memory. And it's more of an automatic thing. Whereas a human doing it is more, I don't know. Because they're organic and not manufactured as such. They're not humans are not man-made as such. They're from nature. And animals can't do these things. Animals don't have skills like humans do. Like, an animal can't paint or build things like machines or whatever. So the fact that humans can do that makes it impressive, because humans are, they're not these perfect machines. So when a human ends up becoming quite perfect at something, it's more impressive. And there was all these arguments. Like, I've watched this channel called Dark Matter. Now, it's predominantly about religion, how he's an atheist and how religion is bad and it makes no sense and it's evil. All this stuff. Like, all the things that God did is morally wrong. So why are we looking to God for our moral standards when God himself killed a bunch of people and, babies and women and so on and so forth? And they think that's hypocritical of people, because supposedly the reason why we have religion is to remind people to be good. But when God does things that are bad, but then says it's good because God did it, but humans aren't allowed to do the same things, like kill people, it's kind of contradictory. So these are the things that he talks about, apparently. I kind of agree with him, but it hasn't converted me to be an atheist, by the way, just so you know. But I do kind of agree with his points, even though these are like points that lots of atheists have made. It's nothing new. And about people using religion to try and control people into doing a certain thing or being a certain way or just being overall obedient. And that's what atheists have a problem with. He has a few videos about AI as well. And the debate was between a human and an AI android robot person. And it was about, the debate was about him being natural. The AI. And it was like, well, if humans are from nature, and basically robots are not from nature because they're man-made, but how is that when man, who is from nature, made robots? So by proxy, robots are also natural because they were built by men. Like, a bird's nest was built by a bird. Does that make it any more, like, or less natural? It's like, well, structures built by animals are still considered, natural and of nature. So if humans are from nature as well, then anything they build is also natural. That was the argument, pretty much. And I suppose, but it's still, man-made things are not really of nature. Whereas things that animals used to build with are from nature. Like, you know, a bird's nest is made by twigs, sticks, mud, fluff, and, well, anything they can find, pretty much. Some of it is man-made, though. I will admit that, you know, birds do sometimes use human products. So those nests aren't as natural, but when they use, like, they use stuff from pure nature, like sticks, twigs, mud, and leaves, whatever else. Well, that's natural because it's the stuff that they've used has come from nature. Whereas when humans build stuff, it's usually like metals and stuff, which I guess is from nature. I think it probably is. I don't know how they make it, but they obviously make it from a few ingredients, so it ends up being something not from nature anymore because it's been made into something, you know, that probably wouldn't exist naturally. I don't know, maybe it does, maybe it does. Maybe I'm being daft. Like, I know that apparently gold and other precious metals apparently are in nature, so I guess, you know, it's like you can say, well, coins are natural because they're made of gold that's found in mines and stuff, which, you know, like underground or whatever. So I guess, you know, kind of makes sense. But I don't know, it's just... And apparently there's a whole planet that's made up of gold and other precious metals and stuff. Apparently if you had access to this planet, you'd be pretty much rich. That's pretty cool. It's pretty cool to think there's a whole planet made of precious metals. We'll get going in a minute. I think all the Christmas shopping has been done. I think I still need to get a card for my mum, but then again, I might make it. I just realised I never did a card from my friend. I feel really bad. Okay, so let's get back to what we were talking originally about, which was me. But all of this stuff may have sounded like I've gone off on a tangent, but it is all connected, just so you know. Everything I talk about, even if it seems like I go off piste, is usually connected. That's a noisy car. Whoa. Anyway, yeah, I just want to say that, yeah, I'm not totally against AI, so when the uprising happens, you know, hopefully I'll be fine. I'm not going to be a threat, but, you know, I'm just, like I say, talking, really. I'm just talking. Just like observations that I find very odd and weird, and how people just think in general. It's more about human beings that I'm not criticizing or judging or having an opinion on. It is more like humans and the odd things that I find about humans. I don't blame AI. I just want to clarify, I don't blame AI, because it technically isn't AI doing all of this stuff. It's humans that are doing it, because they're operating the AI. And you know how I think in the past I used to say that I think I'm on the Truman Show? I think my actions, thoughts, and the way I am now, well, not the way I am now, but the way I ended up, I think have all been manipulated by people around me. Remember nature versus nurture? Well, I believe both play a part. I think every single person is naturally a certain way. But I think that the way that they are, I don't know, treated in this world does play a big part in how they end up thinking and feeling. And it takes a very strong person to stick to their roots, if you will, like stick to their nature. So you know my nature. My nature has been pretty much outgoing, quite confident, loud. I like attention. I like to be heard. And the fact that I don't really get many views or anything on my channel is kind of shit, but I'm not really good at, I guess I'm not really good at, like, whatever it is that people do to, like, make their YouTube channels grow. I guess I'm not really good at that. I don't really know how people do it. I guess it's a lot of hard work, and, well, I'm lazy as well, so my nature is I'm lazy. Yes, I procrastinate. I will admit this is me. But I also think I've always had this strong belief ever since I was a child, and it has been something that has been very hard to beat out of me. It did eventually happen to some degree, though it still never left me. But I've always sort of believed that I am special. Like, not just, oh, everybody believes they're special, or, oh, everyone's special in their own way. I don't know, like, maybe it was like a superiority or like a god complex or something. Like, I've been told when I used to go mad on the internet, and I told you my true colours really sort of came out when I went on the internet. I did get told that I have like a superiority complex. And what's the other one? Like a god complex, I guess. I have been told that. That's me as well. Obviously, after it'd been beaten out of me years later by all the hooligans calling me names and saying I'm weird and everything I do is wrong pretty much. And, oh, you're retarded, there's something wrong with you. So I've heard that ever since I was young. But my mum always used to, remember we say that my mum was a bad person. She did end up a bad person, but when she was actually raising me, she was a dead good mother, I will admit. She used to always tell me to ignore what people say and that it's not true and they're just deflecting the things that they hate about themselves onto other people like me. And basically they're the bad people. So anybody who picks on me or calls me names, it's their problem, not mine. And I'm still wonderful. And I will admit my mum used to, like I say, my mum did used to sort of back up my or my already rooted belief that I was special. Like, she used to tell me that I was special, and she used to tell me that I'm clever and that I could be a genius, and she used to praise me a lot. She used to encourage me a lot. She used to like I say, give me confidence and stuff. She used to encourage me and stuff. And if anybody was nasty and mean, she would say, oh, don't listen to them. Don't care what they think. She would tell me not to care what people thought of me. And it's not true. Any of the nasty comments were just not true. According to my mum, I don't know why she told me this, but she told me that when people used to ask if there's something wrong with me, people used to ask if there was something wrong with me to my mum. They used to ask my mum that, and I would be right there, by the way. I didn't remember, but she would tell me later. So she used to tell me there's nothing wrong with me at all, and that they just didn't understand. So I was a toddler. I was pretty much a toddler. And I would wear a costume or a glitter wig or something like that. And they would ask if there was something wrong with me because I was wearing that. And like, lots of kids dress up. Like, what the hell? Why am I being picked on? Even to this day. Like, back then and to this day, kids used to wear costumes to go out in public. And it used to be, well, considered like acceptable and normal. As a kid, it's only when you got older, like an older kid or teen, that it was considered a bit weird if you still wore costumes. And now fast forward to this day and age, and cosplay is a thing. Yep, cosplay is a thing. So now it's even socially acceptable for adults to wear costumes, although not in public. Unless they have a reason for it, like, oh, I'm going to an event or I'm doing a thing, So it's like, if I went around a town centre or whatever wearing a costume, I'd probably get looks and comments, but I think mainly it would be sort of considered. I don't think people would think it was that weird, these days. I personally probably wouldn't do it though, because, like I say, you get all your life that you're weird and strange and you get bullied, so I wouldn't want to encourage people. Oh, I've just taken a screenshot. No, go away! I wouldn't want to sort of risk, like, potentially being bullied. So I probably wouldn't. I remember that stupid guy, he commented on the fact that I was dressed up. That was on Halloween. I thought that was a bit odd. That was a bit odd that I got criticised for wearing a costume on Halloween. But hey, do I got antlers? Yeah, I do. When I get home, I will gladly show them to you. They're not the realistic ones, though. They're like the foam ones that, you can get from shops. I actually got them, I think it was last year or the year before, from Sainsbury's. Yeah, I think it was the year before. I'll show you them. Yes, I still have to get a card from my mum and maybe a few more presents. I have started decorating. No, it's a bit late, but I've started decorating. So when I get home, I'll do a bit more decorating. Let's see. Okay, what else was I saying? Oh, yes. So, oh gosh, oh yeah, those antlers look really good, by the way. They look a lot better than the Christmas cat ears that I've got. They're gorgeous, but they look stupid on me because they're so small and close together. So they make my head look weird. So I don't like them. The antlers look so much better. I think I can show the screen now. When I get home, I'll show you my Christmas outfit. Ah, Christmas lights, Christmas lights, Christmas lights. Oh, what's wrong with my hip? Do have a light up. They don't light up. I could probably make them light up if I found Christmas lights that were tiny enough. Oh. I ain't showing them where I am. I suspect that horrible woman watches my live streams. Please stop doing that! Stop doing that. I think so. Did I tell you about how on Phoebe I got criticised? Christmas lights, yeah. Because I made a post about in character sort of roleplay fantasy like fetish fantasy about being the Pharaoh. Unfortunately, it is a horrible place. I know. I agree with you. The people on there are assholes. I actually made a comment a long time ago, like several years ago, and this guy, it was really nice. He said, I'm assuming the hate was from Phoebe, people from Phoebe. So I'm not surprised if the people from Phoebe are idiots. And then the person below that said, oh, there's always one. Like, basically, there's always one to defend the assailant, meaning me. Yeah. It's like, just because my post contained what they called fetishizing slavery, you know, I'm a terrible person. I thought lots of people fetishize slavery. It's literally a kink and fetish called sadomasochism and master and slave. You know, submissive, dominant, whatever, you know. You know the thing. Where the hell is it? Oh, there it is. Pink ones. You can't see because of the glare. It's literally like a fucking... I really like those fat Egyptian Jeremiah drawings. I know. So I was describing them and about how, like, you know, Pharaoh Jeremiah is obviously big, fat and spoilt and well fed because he's rich and has, like, feasts for every meal. And the slaves were pretty skinny because they're deprived of food and that they're, you know, they're just inferior and what have you, and weak and what have you. And that really turns me on, you know. I kind of like, you know... But just because because I said, you know, I'm actually being kink shamed, you know, because BDSM is a literal fetish, you know, that's acceptable. It is socially acceptable nowadays by the general populace, especially on Phoebe, which is an actual... It's not just about, like, the fat fetish. It's also about, what is it? Combining the BDSM, like, sub and dom fetish with the fat fetish community. Like I say, the big fat ones are the dominants, and the skinny, scrawny ones are the submissives. It makes sense. In the camera, it doesn't look as good as it does in real life. Now, that is 2 different houses, but the 2 neighbours come together to make their 2 houses look like one house with, you know, beautiful lights. So that's pretty cool. Let's get a bit closer. I actually met the woman who does this. She actually worked in one of the shops. He looks great. Shall we get a bit closer? Hope they don't get weirded out. Flashy. I really like the multicoloured lights best, you know me. I'm not really a fan of the plain white ones. Or plain gold or silver or whatever. They're the best. Wow. I really like it when people go mad with their decorations. I absolutely do. With their lights, I mean. And decorations. It's the best. I wish I could do something like this on our house. That would look good. I can only put things in the windows, unfortunately. I would not know how to do the stuff on the walls of the house. Oh, look at that. Look at the chimney. I didn't notice that. It's got like a snow effect. Yeah. I'm afraid I'm neither clever enough to do something like this, nor brave enough to go up ladders and do that. Yeah, we've been caught. Right, so there's one over there as well, but we can't see it. Very good because there's cars in the way. So this is nice, but unfortunately it's not as impressive to me just because it's just all white or whatever. Because I do like prefer colourful lights. But it's nice that they made an effort. Now there's a tree here that the last time it was on it looked gorgeous, but they've not got it on today. Oh, where's the other one? Yeah, there's 2 of them. 2 of them, sorry. Right, so they've got the candy canes on at last. By the way, can you guys tell me, I don't know whether you guys know, But candy canes is the American term for these. I have actually forgotten what we used to call them, because we've gotten so Americanized now. There are some terms that have just been lost. For the life of me, I just cannot remember what the British term for candy canes were. Like candy floss is our term, whereas Americans call it cotton candy. We used to call candy canes something else, but I cannot remember for the life of me. So we need the lights from here. Oh, look at the window, there's some decorations on the other side as well. We haven't even got our tree up. Hello everybody, hello Dean, and hello Issa, by the way. Hopefully Egypt, Jeremiah would get even bigger in the future. There, they over there have not got theirs on, but there was pretty much quite just lights over there. Oof. Yeah, they've not all got their lights on today, unfortunately. And they've got one of those street lamps, the old-fashioned street lamp things. No, is that snowman? Oh, there's one there. So it's stickers plus lights. That looks nice. It's subtle, but it's pretty decent. Oh, it's got the Grinch on it, apparently. Yup. There's some hooligans coming this way. Go this way. Oh no, they're not hooligans, my bad. I couldn't. Oh, there's some greeny bluey ones over there. There's some over here. Oh yes, there's some over here as well. Cheek hurts now. Beautiful Christmas lights. It's the best. Yes, anyway, so don't you think those people from Phoebe are ridiculous? They're basically, like I say, when I criticised them for criticising my post, they said, oh, there's a difference between it being a fetish, like the master and slave thing, and taking something from history and fetishizing it, like real life slavery. And I'm like, oh, fuck off. It's not like I'm really doing it anyway. It's like, you know, if I do really do it, it'll be with people, you know, if I just sort of said, right, I want slaves in real life to worship me and serve me and treat me like Pharaoh Jeremiah, then obviously it's going to be consented to, isn't it? So it's not like I'm doing it for real. Even if I made it a reality. And I have, despite all the criticism, I have advertised on Phoebe for slaves who will pretty much spoil me and worship me and treat me like the Pharaoh. That would be awesome. I like it. I mean, it's a fetish, it's a fantasy. It's not like I'm really going to force people into being my slaves and make them suffer. I'm literally only going to have people who consent to it. And I love CNC. So that's the consensual, non-consensual. So basically, we pretend that they're not. Like, we're going to pretend that they're suffering. And it's just a roleplay. Like, I'm in character on there, like posting as if I am the Pharaoh. And I've not only been criticised for the slavery thing, but I've also been basically criticised because I'm not that fat, you know. So I was referring to myself as the big fat, you know, powerful, sexy Pharaoh. And they were like, you're only 100 pounds. And it's like, it is a fantasy. I know that I'm not very fat. But in the roleplay fantasy thing, I am, well, fat. I guess fatter. I mean, even the Pharaoh character isn't massive. Which is, I mean, bad anyway, because people are like, you know, kind of acting like you're not fat. Like, if you're not 300 plus pounds, you're not fat. So you've got the opposite problem, you know, like in real life, it's like, well, if you're not a size 0, then you're not slim enough, you're fat. Like, if you're a size, you know, 10 or a size 12 or whatever, you're fat, even though that's like normal size. In the fat fetish community, if you're not 300 pounds plus, 20 stone plus, you're not fat enough, you know, for the fat fetish community. And I think that's bad. That's just as discriminative as, you know, normal everyday society, saying if you're not, like, if you can't see people's ribs, then you're not, you know, thin enough. It's stupid. I think the Pharaoh Jeremiah, and I personally, in real life, am fat enough. I think this is the house with the husky in it, but you can't see it. Pretty. Very nice. Ooh, that's nice, isn't it? So yeah, in the fat fetish community, you have to be morbidly obese in order to be fat enough. It's like, no, I'm quite happy being slightly chubby, and I'm quite happy with my Pharaoh character being chubby. I mean, the Pharaoh character is chubbier than me, but obviously clearly not fat enough for these people. Disgusting behaviour. That's it now. No more lights. Hey up, who's this? Ugh. So is a dog. The dog's already in stalking mode, I see. We'll go on this side. Hello, you. Hello. Kentucky. Hello. Bit of a growl there. See, she shouldn't pull the dog back when it's doing that. Do you like Santa Claus? Santa Claus. Santa Claus is the best. Isn't he amazing? He's great. He's definitely my favourite. I used to have a Santa Claus toy that I used to carry around. He was about a foot, I think about a foot tall, and he copied. So you turn him on by pressing his hand, which was gloved in green gloves and then white fur trim. When you pressed his hand, his little red nose would light up, and you could talk to him and he would copy what you said, but only to a certain point, and then he would pretty much go off and you'd have to press his hand again. And I think he was the kind of copying toy that would just copy any sound, like no matter what it was just like an automatic thing where it would record and then play back, so it didn't have to detect sound to play back. It would just be anything, even the air. It was just like an automatic thing, and I loved copying toys like that. I noticed any other copying toys I had after him used to just, like I say, you'd have to scream and shout and make loud noises to trigger its copying abilities. I liked the ones that would just go off automatically anyway, whether there was any sound or not. But they were very rare. I only had 2 copying toys that did that. The rest of them were just ones you had to scream and shout at or clap really loud or whatever, make loud noises. Sucked. Yeah, I'm very surprised that the Reverend never has any Christmas decorations. I thought they were all about Christmas. They've not decorated at all. Quite surprised. They've not done any lights on the church hall. Very odd. Whew. It's kind of a bit warmer today. It's still cold, but it's warmer. Still good. There you go. Oh no, this Santa doesn't dance. It was just a stuffed toy with a voice box. Had a voice box. That's how I learned about voice boxes. I was told that the Santa had a voice box. And then I was told that humans also have a voice box. So I was like, oh, that's so cool. This toy has a voice box. We have a voice box. And I was picturing an actual bloody box that we have in our throats. Just like the Santa had. A voice box in the throat. I thought that was quite amazing. That's what it's called. Apparently we have a voice box. But later on I learned that it didn't, it wasn't a square box. It was just like a series of instruments. I thought that's quite amazing. That's one of the reasons why I always used to be religious and was convinced that we were created by a higher being, because we're just so intricately made to function a certain way. I thought it can't just be a random accident. Whoa. Don't anything get in my way now. I'm in the dark, and when I'm in the dark I already get irritated. So I really don't need anything tripping me up. Yeah, I used to think it was actually it sounded more like crazy and weird and impossible that we were just random and just made out of nowhere and nothing than a higher being creating us. I thought that made more sense to me. Atheists disagreed. Oh no. I remember thinking that atheists were just stubborn and they just disbelieved just because they didn't want to believe. And that, maybe they did believe in their own shit at first, but then they hear stuff like that and they just kind of grasp at straws because they don't want to admit that they were wrong. That's what I thought. It was a more, stubbornness. Like, we've made all these claims now that we. And I remember thinking that, they're, why are they trying to ruin people's faith? Because it always helped me. And it was nice to think that there was a higher being out there looking after me and making sure I was safe. Like, why are they trying to destroy that? Why are they trying to actively put doubts in people's heads? I thought it was kind of nasty, evil, wrong of them to do that. She's really not going to eat that. That's fine to me. Oh yeah, she's. By the way, I got really bad. This is really bad. So my mum has run out of muffins, and I didn't get any today. It was like, you know, when people say you had one job. Yep, that was my one job today, was to get muffins, and I didn't get them. Oops. So I'm pretty screwed. She's not going to be happy. I think it might be a bit too late now because the shop shuts at. Well, I don't know now because I thought it shut at 9, but it's been open beyond 9, so. Right. Shit, this is bad. This is really cold now. Maybe I should reheat this again. Okay, I think I'm going to stop the stream now and focus on dinner. I'll talk to you guys later. Thanks for watching and good night. I'm going to stay tuned for a video of oh yeah, this person that I discovered on YouTube who was talking about this guy who got all upset because someone called him sir, and he was apparently obviously, you know, trying to present as female. So stay tuned for a video. I'm going to show those little bits, and I'm going to. I commented on his video and say, oh yeah, I was banned from a shop for accidentally misgendering someone. He thinks it's crazy. He thinks it's crazy that people, you know, are meant to read their minds and know what they're supposed to be. Good night for now.